Good afternoon, everyone. I, Dr. Komal Tomar, the GM Market Promotions at Amity University, Gurgaon, welcome you all. Before we begin our webinar, let's have a quick tour of Amity University, Gurugram.
Amity University, Gurgaon, established in 2010. In a few years' time, it has surged ahead to be adjudged the top private university in Haryana by India Today, as well as CMAI. Spread across 110 acres, it has won numerous awards like the Best Private University of the Year 2015 by SHM. Building on its foundation of academic excellence, Amity University, Gurgaon has established diverse centers of excellence for breakthrough advancements like the Amity Center for BRICS Studies, Amity Center for Robotics, Amity Center for Nanotechnology, Amity Center for Stem Cell Research, Amity Center for Ocean Atmospheric Science and Technology, and many more. Constantly striving for excellence in all aspects, Amity University, Gurgaon has entered into a collaborative program with Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, IITM Pune, established under the aegis of Safar Mabar for measuring and monitoring air quality. The campus also has a unique military training camp where thousands of Amity students from all campuses go through military training modules that instill strong feelings of patriotism and hone strategic leadership skills. As part of a leading research-driven university, numerous innovations of Amity students have earned international and national recognition, such as solar-powered vehicles, the Amity Bionic Arm, and the Amity Humanoid. Extensive industry interaction initiatives have seen the likes of Sunil Bharati Mittal, Chairman Bharati Enterprise, that is Airtel, Paytm founder Vijay Shekhar Sharma, and eminent scientist Padma Bhushan Dr. Govindarajan Padmanabhan visiting and engaging with Amity students. A big thrust area for the university is creating positive social impact. As part of the Amity mission to eradicate preventive blindness, Amity eye camps have provided free treatment and cataract surgery to over 12,000 Haryana villages. The 3-year-old annual Amity Gurgaon Marathon, which has seen participation from over 30,000 runners, besides making people health conscious, highlights various social issues. The Amity student community also actively participates in social initiatives like Udaan to educate underprivileged children. Students are also driving cancer awareness camps, Swachhata Abhiyan inspired Clean the City drives, regular blood donation camps. Amity University, Gurgaon is India's only university and Asia's second to be awarded the LEED USA Platinum certification, the highest standard worldwide for environmentally responsible design, construction, and operations of existing buildings.
Amity also offers you a basket of career-focused disciplines in all streams of interest to Class 12 students like you. Let's take a glance.
Now, let's take a glimpse of the pulsating campus life at Amity University, Gurgaon that goes beyond academic excellence, which allows you to flourish as an individual by organizing and participating in diverse cultural events and competitions such as Youth Fest or being a part of Sangathan, the Inter-Amity Institution's sports meet that marks the birthday of Amity's founder president. You get countless opportunities to enhance your organizational, teamwork, and leadership skills. At Amity University, Gurgaon, you follow a learning and development curve that is designed to help you stay ahead of the future by empowering you to dream and carve out a vision. It has been conceived to help you optimize your true potential. So if you see yourself joining the League of Indian Missionaries shown earlier, then go ahead and envision a better tomorrow for yourself and for India.
For more details, you can visit our website www.amity.edu/Gurugram. Students' life generally takes a major turn after class 12. They got exposed to a completely new and challenging world, but thanks to the various career options available today, so that they can now check and examine the various prospects and choose the one that suits their preferences and area of interest. There is a common belief that the students with the science stream have abundance of career opportunities, while the non-science students are left with comparatively few options. But that is not true, because now the non-science students can even choose from a wide range of professions that are both highly interesting and intellectually stimulating. The topic of our today's webinar, Emerging Career Opportunities for Non-Science Student, is focused to this specific concern of our dear students and parents. And I'm glad to have our esteemed speaker, Dr. Rajesh Nair, Director of the Amity Institute of Behavioral and Allied Sciences, with us today, who has over 23 years of rich experience in practice, academia, and research. Before we get going, would like to mention one thing. If you have any questions, write them into the chat box. We will address them after the session. Handing over to Dr. Nair. Dr. Nair.
Yes, very good afternoon to everyone. Thank you, Dr. Toma, for inviting me for this session. And I would like to thank all the participants who are attending this important webinar. Important in terms of the choices which we have to make at this point in time after passing our very important milestone, that is +2, 10 +2, what is generally called in our Indian education system. So I'll just try to cue my presentation so that each one of you are able to see the presentation. So what I've done is I've tried to make a change in the topic as such. As Dr. Tomar mentioned, that the title is Emerging Career Opportunities for Non-Science Students. So I thought it would be little more specific and it would be more pertinent to highlight that the talk would be for the students who would want to join social sciences or humanities, looking at the career opportunities for such students. So that is the change in the title I thought I should bring in based on my experience. Let me cue the presentation so that each one of you are able to see it once. Okay, so this is the outline of my presentation, right? Very rightly pointed out by Dr. Tomar that 12th standard is one of the most important phase of our life, right? Because we have to choose something very specific about that is what career we would want to have for ourselves. 12th standard is also a place of our life which brings in a lot of opportunities around us. It provides us an exposure where we have to choose out of something which are unknown turf at times, right? Because traditionally in India, generally if you talk to the parents or relatives or friends who are great influencers in our lives, everybody would suggest that, okay, there are a few chosen career pathways, whether to become a doctor, medical doctor, or engineer, or maybe somebody to deal with the law profession as a lawyer. Traditionally, these are some of the accepted career pathways, but we are in a changed world, and world is also changing very fast, as we all know. So this is the time when we have to actually talk about what career we would want to have. What are the influencers of career decisions? What are our strengths and weaknesses before we take a decision to choose something such important as career? Uh, do we choose college over subject, or subject over college or university? Is it recommended that a student need to drop a year to sit in the NEET exam or any other entrance exam? Career options, as Dr. Tomar mentioned, are considered to be widely available for science or medicine students. But what is available for humanities or social science students? We will talk about that. I have also looked into some of the reports of the agencies such as Ernst and Young, agencies such as uh, who are basically Deloitte and all, who are consultancy organizations who work for futuristic employment opportunities, career opportunities which would be available. And these are companies which provide their inputs to the think tanks of government and public sector and even private sector in terms of mapping of those opportunities, in terms of suggesting how the world is moving and which direction the world is moving. So I have looked into those reports as well to help you out in terms of your, I would say, this very phase of confusion or challenge where we are looking for career opportunities for ourselves. So as I mentioned, many of us would be anxious about our future career choices. Some of us, we would be very ready because of the support which has been extended to us by our teachers, our relatives, or parents, or friends, and we would be very certain about those career choices. Some of us, we would be still thinking about what career choices we have to choose, what all I would be doing after completing my 12th. Some of us would still be having this discussion, this dilemma in our mind, to whom to ask such questions, such important questions about our life, who can guide us better. And there would be some of us who would not be bothered at this point in time. They would be relaxing, they would be enjoying the post-examination period. And based on my experience, I would want to tell those students that those candidates that, you see, I think if you have not decided about your own career as of now, it is late. But as it is said that it is never too late, this is a good time to talk about it, think about it, and go forward for choosing the career pathway. Now, why 12th standard, right? Not only in India, across the world, after the higher education is completed in many places. In India, generally, after passing the 12th standard, the progression in terms of our work life is decided based on what academic qualification we would want to choose, or what professional degree we would want to choose after the 12th. So a career is the progress and actions taken by a person throughout the lifetime. It is not certain that once a person who has chosen one career, he cannot change that career pathway after some time. Of course, the person can do it. But you see, the challenge would come that if you keep on changing your career pathways, it would have an impact on your own motivation, your own, you can say, previous experiences as such. So a very careful thought about career choices, I think this is the best time because this would be helpful to take care of the next 30, 40 years of our professional life. So post 12th standard, opportunity to choose a career pathway is what is provided to all of us, whether we would want to choose science, commerce, or humanities, or social sciences within that. It is one of the required thing from each of us that we have to remain productive. It is helpful to maintain our well-being, our quality of life, our mental health, and it is also important to progress during that life, future life. So one of the most decision of our life is to choose what kind of career pathways we would want to have. Like setting up of a goal, career goal is something very important. Second is contribution to society. Now, as we have born as a human being, it is also imperative on us that we are able to significantly contribute to the society, to the social goods of the society. So if we have a sound career choice, we would be able to provide that support. Enjoy the best things around us. Now, each one of us would want to enjoy this world as well. So it would be dependent on what kind of career we have chosen, which can help us in terms of improving our quality of life and help us in terms of remaining happy. Each one of us would want to have that happy life. Now, what are the key influences? I have mentioned this in my previous uh, discussion, that you see there are many influencers in our life who would influence the 17 to 19-year-old person in terms of choosing the career choices. There are n number of such choices which are available across us. And roughly these, like I mentioned, some studies, they have mentioned there are over 3,500 professions. And what a profession would be for a person, it's that person's own perspective. One profession which would be right for a person might not necessarily that it would be correct for the other person. So we have to choose very carefully what we would want to be. It helps basically if we are aware of our strengths and weaknesses, because if we are having strengths, we might well have the weaknesses also. So building on the strengths and also building on those weaknesses, to overcome over those weaknesses, is something what is needed for all of us. Let me give you an example. Let's say if I think that probably my communication skill is something I need to work on, since I have passed from a city where probably the foreign language or English as such was not emphasized in that way. Probably you need to work on that, because you all know that for all purposes, English language and another foreign language is very helpful for our becoming employable, and also to remain or to sustain in that career choice. It is important to figure out what we are good at and what are shortcomings. And of course, as I said earlier, the influencers such as parents, relatives, friends would be there who would want to influence our decision. But it is up to us, basically, who would want to live a life the way would we want, to identify an appropriate career, for ourselves, because we think that probably that is best suited for us. So you need to do what you are good at, right? Somebody who would be good at, let's say, in politics, understanding politics, probably that person should work on that part only, because it would be almost 30 to 35 years or 40 years of career which is awaiting you. And if you are not able to build on your choices, your own aptitude, what you have, it become very, I would say, burdening on us if we are not able to choose that career based on our own interest areas. It is better to not to regret on that decision later. It is better to continue with our own perspective, our own understanding that what are my strengths, and building on that strengths, which career choice I would want to make. There are also at times dilemmas, right? One of the dilemma is such as college over subject or subject over college, means whether we should go for a specific subject or we should go for a specific university or college. My take on this is that, you see, all of us, we have a minimum of 3 to 4 years tenure in one college while doing undergraduation or post-graduation, or thereafter, whatever choice we would have to go for higher studies, etc. So minimum 3 to 4 years of tenure would be there. So in case if you are not sure about a specific career to choose, it is always better to choose a good university or a college which has lot of offerings with regard to, let's say, foreign language, in terms of building the communication skills, personality development, training on digital skills, and many more. Because then when you join that college or university, you can still explore your career choices and you can build on it further. The environment of university or college would help you in terms of keeping your eyes and ear open to explore more options during that phase of college or university. But in case a student is very sure about his or her career, it is always better that choosing a subject over a college would be better, because then you would know that what you would want to do and you can go for that particular subject if you are so certain about that. Because having a career goal is always helpful in terms of deciding, right, what exactly we would want to achieve in next 5 year or 10 years time. Then second dilemma which comes to us after 12th standard is that, is it recommended that a student should drop a year, right? Some students, some students are advised to drop a year which can help them in terms of doing the preparations for entrance exams, etc., etc. But personally, I would never recommend that, because dropping an year would mean losing 12 months, a long time of your life, right? And if you are able to join a good college or a university, you can always strengthen your perspectives around your career goals, what exactly you would want to do. Generally, if you drop 1 year with a great enthusiasm, you would realize that after some time that enthusiasm dies off, right? Because that zeal, that enthusiasm would not sustain throughout the year. And something like this, that a different lifestyle would get started, like waking up late, wasting time on internet, task stretching. And before that, we realize that we are losing on time, 1 year is gone. So I would suggest that young people should decide to join a college, and college can further build on their perspective of uh, of choosing a right kind of career for them. So they can keep preparing for whatever competitive examinations while they are in that particular opportunity, right? So there is a possibility of doing that. Now, there are, as Dr. Tomar mentioned, that there are different career choices for science students, for medical students, for commerce students. So what is available for students who are from social sciences and humanities, right? Now, again, I looked at many of these career choices which are available. For 12th standard students, many of these subjects probably are unknown. They would not be getting some kind of inputs from their relatives or their friend circle. So the career choices I would want to suggest are, again, which would help you to think of the subjects which you would want to have after your 12th standard exams, your results are done. Now, these options are with regard to management. You must have heard of business administration. So students can go for BBA programs. They can build their career in BBA and different specializations offered within BBA, and later maybe master in business administration. Language is again a very good option which is available. There are foreign languages, like in Amity University, we have 6-7 foreign languages which are taught compulsorily to all students to make them employable, be it German, French, Spanish, Korean, Chinese. So all these countries which have expats working to earn their livelihood, they speak multiple languages. So learning language and having communication skills is something very important. So language would be another area of choice. Travel and tourism. Again, this is a sector which has seen a lot of, I would say, ups only as of now. So travel and tourism could be one. Hospitality is again one very strong area which is seeing a lot of, I would say, jump in terms of career growth. Since I am from psychology background, I definitely would want to talk about clinical psychology, applied psychology, social work as very strong areas, upcoming areas where a lot of interests are there of industry to hire people having these kind of skill sets, competencies for not only for managing mental health issues, but also developing human resource management and many other skill sets which are required in the industry. We'll talk about it separately. Fashion designing, interior fashion designing, fine arts is something, again, a very good, very promising career choice which individual can make out of their career. Graphic designing. Law is again one of this sought after area, probably for which young professionals always eye for. So law is there. Mass communication, journalism, computer skills, or you can say information technology, right, is something which would still see lot of boom in terms of career options which are available. In fact, the studies I was talking about shows that in fact none of us would be able to survive in the industry if we do not have the basic information technology related skills. So IT is something, I think it is kind of cross-cutting competency which is required, whichever stream you would go for. So that is something which has been reflected in these studies as well. Then there are offbeat career choices, which can easily be attained in places like Amity University. Offbeat careers are in terms of music, sports, radio jockeys, comedies, rapper, beat boxers, poetry, literature, and many more areas such as economics, studying political science, history, yeah, almost all which I thought probably I wanted to talk to you about. Then you see, industry also need people to have certain very important soft skills. So based on these studies of McKinsey, Ernst & Young, Deloitte, and many more, I would want to show you some slides out of it. What they say is that apart from the technical competencies, what is needed is skills around critical thinking, aptitude, communication skills, managing people. Now, why managing people? That because the environment, the organizational climate is changing. Earlier, people used to be from one specific place or a region. Now you see a lot of in-migration also taking place. People coming from other regions, states, countries in one workplace. So while you have such a mixed group of people around, having different cultural background, having the skills of managing people, managing human resources, something industry would look for. Managing stress. This is a competitive world. And in the competitive world, not only the incumbent, the person himself or herself would be stressed out, but the team members would also be stressed out. So how to manage that stress? Innovations. Innovation is the key for the future, right? So industry would want to have people who have innovative ideas, who know how to create new ideas, because innovation is going to be the, I would say, the top order skill which is needed by the industry in coming days. And just 30% is of what is made out based on your degrees and percentages. 70% is based on these skill sets which we just discussed. This is one of the study which I was mentioning to you. This is done by mixed group of consultancy organizations, especially the lead partner was Ernst and Young, which talked about that almost 50% of the jobs which we would see beyond year 2022 would need people from a very versatile backgrounds. And the jobs what we see as on date, right, would not be the jobs which would exist in future. So almost 50% of jobs would be completely changed, right, in future, especially if we talk about in next 8 to 10 years. Such as, for example, if I have to tell you, whichever industry you would go, whether it is IT or automobile or textile, apart from engineering background, they would need people from social sciences who would be able to have better communications with the customers, with the employees within the organization, with the clients, and many more. And they would need people from social sciences, humanities background, who would have training of different sorts in managing these kind of resources. So they would not go for engineers or science students to help them out in terms of for their advertisement or for managing their client or prior profile of their customers, etc. So those kind of skill sets would come from social sciences background people, whether it is banking sector, whether it is retail sector, all of it would be requiring social science background people. I will show you one slide which would talk about a specific set of designations, right? Such as customer experience leader, somebody who would be doing the digital marketing for the companies, right? Somebody who would be doing the retail data analysis. All of it would dependent on students from social sciences or humanities background, because the skill sets which would be needed by the industry would be something which is very well requiring as per the profiles of customer experience leader, etc. Now, one common thing expressed for all of these profiles is digital skills. Now, digital skill is something which I have been mentioning, that technology would remain the key. It's not only the buzzword, but it is going to be the key. So anybody who is interested to join in the industry would not, rather they should specifically see to it that they also gain training in terms of information technology, in how to handle computers, how to handle different technology gadgets, etc. Then I have mentioned about some of the higher order skills which are needed by the industry, such as cognitive skills, social skills, and emotional skills. Let me spend a little more time as suggested by the PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is again one of the consultancy organizations which talked about that industry looks for higher cognitive skills such as creativity, entrepreneurship, innovations, right? So they would need people who can innovate, create new ideas, who are the people who can self-starter, proactive people, right? Who can work on new challenging areas. Apart from this, social and emotional skills, again, I mentioned it previously, that they would look into people, recruit such people who are able to manage big teams, right? Managing resources such as men, human resources, people who are good at developing social influence, people who are good at leading the team. So these are the soft skills, but these are considered new hard skills as desired by the different industry leaders in years to come. And these are some more, I would say, skills which are expressed by the industry people, such as creativity, emotional intelligence, analytical thinking, active learning with growth mindset, judgment and decision making, interpersonal communication skills, leadership skills, diversity, cultural intelligence, technology skills, right? Embracing the change. World is moving very fast. Industries, they see new innovations coming in every fortnight, month, or by month itself. So likewise, the changes are happening around us at the workplace as well. So we need to embrace that change. Somebody who has the curiosity to learn more, right? Conscientiousness, how people can deal with people in better way, collaborating with others, agility. These are the future career skills as expressed by the industry people. Now, saying all of it, what are the steps, right? That would be one question which would come to us, that what is next for us? What kind of steps we have to take? First of all, what is needed is a self-assessment. As I mentioned, we need to know about our own strengths and weaknesses. So for that, we need to get our aptitude test. And I think the colleagues at Department of Psychology, we call it Amity Institute of Behavioral and Life Sciences, right? Which can help you in terms of your aptitude testing. So you can get your self-assessment done at our place or wherever you would want to get it done. Explore the career options as per your own interest areas. What are the career options available? First, have a free list and then narrow down your options. Decide and choose the best option which you think, and then set a career goal, a goal for next 5 years, a goal for next 10 years. So having a long-term goal, a short-term goal is always beneficial. So set a career goal, what you exactly would want to do. And based on that, join an academic program as per your own choice, rather than getting influenced by your peers, your parents, or relatives. Their influence, I'm not saying that is wrong, but what I'm saying is ultimately you have to live in that career, right? So if that career is based on your choice, you would be able to do far better in comparison to any other career choices. So work on the required competencies, the kind of skills which are needed. You can sort of start working on it. And if you need any help or support, reach out to the wonderful faculty and teachers around you. They would definitely be able to help you out. And now I think we are open for question and answer. And if there are any questions, such as from where such skills can be gained, how to develop a competency plan, or what should be the time frame, I would be happy to answer your question. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nair, for the wonderful session. That is really insightful and knowledgeable. And I'm confident that the audience have collected a lot of informations which will surely help them to decide further for their future. Let's start by taking some questions.
Sure.
So there is one candidate who wanted to know what is the difference between clinical psychology and applied psychology?
Okay. This is, I think, one of the pertinent questions generally asked by all the students, right? Now, applied psychology is basically the applied aspect of the subject psychology, means in which areas psychology can be used or practiced as a subject. So in a way, clinical psychology is also part of applied psychology, because clinical psychology can also be applied where it can be applied. It can be applied in hospitals for treating disorders, mental health issues. It can be used in public health settings where you have to build the lifestyle related behavioral aspects. You can use clinical psychology in the school settings where you have to train students or help them in terms of while growing up, they have specific needs. And most importantly, in the situations which are special in nature, there are children, there are people who are in the vulnerable situation, and they need, such as elderly people, people who have some challenges that could be mental health related challenges or physical challenges. So there are special schools, there are institutions where clinical psychologists work. Other than clinical psychology, there are areas where psychologists work, such as industrial hygienists, industrial and organizational behavioral psychologists. So they would go into industry to help in terms of designing the human resource related development programs, recruitment of employees in the industry, conducting psychological tests, psychometric tests within the organizations. Defense could be one sector, which is again a good recruiter of psychologists. For all the Agniveers or all the army personals, officers who are recruited, they have to go through psychological assessments. So they go there as well. Education sector is again one area where psychology is applied a lot. So psychologists, they work as guidance and counseling counselors, guidance and counselors. They work as you can say as motivators within the institutions where people are interested in terms of building their issues around monotony or job satisfaction, or maybe building the capacity. So there are many such areas where psychologists specifically help. So applied psychology tries to build the competencies of psychologists depending on their interest area. So there are students who would become child psychologists, clinical psychologists, counseling psychologists, industrial psychologists, or in defense specifically, there are people who would work as I would say psychologists who would help in terms of recruiting. So that is broadly the, you can say, areas where psychologists they work. Apart from it, lastly, I would want to mention is that in the social world, which is again a very huge area where psychologists work either for child right issues or at the community level, they work to provide support to the administrators for implementation of programs. Public health is one such area where prevention and promotion is handled by psychology students or social work students so that the diseases are prevented. We have seen this during the COVID-19 phase as well. Our psychologists, our teachers, they helped huge number of people in terms of prevention of COVID-19, and not only prevention, but also mitigating the effect of COVID-19 within their families or for individual cases. So, Dr. Tomar, there are multiple areas where psychologists work. Only specific thing is that the applied aspects, right,
Right.
which we can use in the industry is considered as part of applied psychology, and clinical psychology is part of applied psychology because it is also applied in different settings. Yes.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. So there are three candidates. I think they are asking about like what is the admission procedure for Amity University, Gurugram, and something like that. There is one candidate who is asking about that. What is the procedure for aptitude test for
So,
Amity University?
sure. So, in terms of the procedure of admissions, so online you can visit our website, Amity University Haryana Gurugram's website, and it would lead you to the the admission form which you can fill in. And for specific reasons, you can reach out to the admission counselors in case if you have specific queries. With regard to aptitude test, these aptitude tests are not a mandatory requirement. I would want to emphasize for the admission purposes. But let's say if you would want to do get your aptitude tested, right? Like in which area you would want to be going, which specific career choice you would want to have. You have to visit our university, come directly to IBAS, which is Amity Institute of Behavioural and Allied Sciences. We have 2 psychology labs here, and our faculty member would be able to get your aptitude test done then and there, and you can see the results. And we will also provide necessary guidance and counseling thereafter in case if you would want to have that help. So we are available all 5 working days, Monday to Friday. During the working hours, you can come, visit the department, you can see our labs and get your aptitude test, intelligence test, emotional intelligence test, whatever way you would want to explore. And I'm sure, ma'am, Dr. Tomar would be organizing open house session as well very soon, where
Yes.
you can come, and there we would be definitely holding these tests, and you can get your aptitude test done.
Right, right, sir. Yes, I think Divya, you have got your answer. And as sir has mentioned, we are planning for open house session for 16th of July. So you can definitely visit the campus along with your parents and can get your aptitude test done, right? Okay. So coming to the next question. There is one candidate who is asking about that what are the career options available after doing foreign language courses?
Okay. Now, as you know, the world is a global family, right? In Sanskrit, we say Vasudeva Kutumbakam, which is the world itself has become a family now. And you see, it is always very effective if you are able to speak the language, the native language of that place. And just it is just not possible for everyone to learn many such languages. English and our mother tongue is something which would come directly to us as part of the education, wonderful education system what we have. Other than this, if you are interested to work in the world, such as in European countries or some of the developed nations, let's say you would want to go to Canada or Australia or USA or any of the European countries, you see, you know it, that there are some languages which are spoken after English. They are spoken next or used next as very prominent languages, such as French, Spanish, German. And if you have the skill set, it improves your, I would say, competencies. Your specific question was the employability related. So one is your employability improves. Second is you can join as language experts, right? In many such places which are related with travel, which are related with hospitality, which are related with the interpretation, language translators, right? This is again a a very demanding skill set, and there are hardly, you can count people who would know these specific languages at some point in time. And like we have a very strong neighbor like China. Chinese itself is a very required language skill set within India. One can go to armed forces if somebody has a specific skill set on Chinese, as a educator within Indian Army, to work as an expert in Chinese language. So foreign languages, the more we are becoming globalized, I would say the foreign languages are having skills of foreign language would definitely add more to our employability. And there are many options available in hospitality and travel. That much I would want to say.
Right, sir. Thank you. Sir, I think we are getting a good response from the candidates. They are just pouring questions, but due to the time constraints, we wouldn't be able to take up all the questions, but there are 2-3 more questions which I just want to address. There is one question: how to go in IT being a non-science student?
Very good. I think this is something very important for each one of us. IT, as I mentioned, is a skill set which is kind of cross-cutting now. Whichever area you would go, if you do not know the basic information technology skills, you would be odd man out in that situation. So like in Amity University, you have open electives where you have an opportunity to learn those subjects in addition to your own subject, where you would also get a minor degree. So you can learn data sciences, you can learn computer skills, as an open elective, which would be there throughout as part of your undergraduation. So while you would join, let's say, psychology as a program or a social work as a program, you would be having one opportunity having open elective subject, and that open elective subject would be on information technology, data science, and that would be there for all the 6 semesters of your undergraduation program. And you would learn that skill, and you would also get a minor degree on that particular subject. And this is not only for information technology, any other subject, like you would want to study economics or any other subject. So you can earn another minor degree if you would study a place like Amity University. Ma'am, you have to unmute yourself.
Now taking up the last question. So what are the career aspects in fashion?
Okay. I think the personalities are best reflected based on the fashion trends. And you see, I don't have to tell you that how fashion is getting emphasized, highlighted all around us. There are so many opportunities for fashion design students, not only at design level, but also in terms of finished goods level. I may not be the best person to tell you very specifically on some of these aspects. So I would invite you to visit our fashion designing department, and you can get in touch with faculty there, and I'm sure they would be able to help you out. But from designing to finished goods, there are different profiles which awaits career opportunities. So you don't have to worry, and it is again an area which is growing up, right? So there are many opportunities, and I showed it to you as part of the study which I presented, that textile and fashion design is something which is going to grow, and it is growing very fastly. Means we are actually lagging behind. The Western world is way high in comparison to us. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. So as I said, the candidates are continue dropping their questions in the chat box. So 1-2 more questions to go. Sir, as we have spoken about the foreign language courses, so there is one candidate, the same candidate, she is asking about that. Which is the best foreign language to learn as per
Okay.
your suggestions?
Okay. I would say all languages have its own importance. Now, your specific question is which foreign language? Now, I would say French is something, some important language which is spoken in various places, from Canada to United States to African world, and also to Australia. You would see people speaking French. In Canada, it is a second language almost after English. French is one. Then you would see German is again one of the very sought after language, because Germany is one of the most industrialized country in the world, I would say. Germany is the place where you would see a lot of industrial innovations and changing taking place. So Germany could be one very good potential as on date. Chinese, I would say, again, our neighborhood means there would be a lot of opportunities in China and Korea, which is going to come. And you have seen the growth of China and Korea in last few decades. So learning Korean, Chinese would also provide a lot of opportunities. Moving away from the traditional foreign languages of European countries, I think to Asian languages could also be good option in terms of, and these are untapped turfs, right? A lot of collaborations, lot of, you can see the kind of business we are having with Chinese and Koreans. We are one of the top partners they have in terms of business. So a lot of opportunities in Chinese and Korean languages are there. Then you have other foreign languages, including Russian and German, French, Spanish, and all these languages are available. Foreign languages are at Amity University. Means anybody who would have a choice of any of these languages can be offered, of course, depending on first come first serve basis, but you can avail them. Yes.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. Definitely, I again invite you to attend our open house session on 16th of July, so that you can just discover all and get to know all the information about everything, whichever you want to know, and that too from the subject expert and the HOIs. So there is one last question which I just wanted to get through. There is one candidate, Ishita. She just wanted to know, sir, what are the career available for humanities student in corporate sector and IT sector?
Again, as I said, there are certain specific areas which can only be best managed by people from humanities and social sciences. These are especially the relationship management and communication related thing. Communication, whether it is through advertisement or through verbal or through designs, whatever way you call, there are different forms of communication, right? So social sciences students have different way of looking at it, and their training is different. So they are one of the very sought after people in such places. Then apart from that, managing the client services, managing the customers, or let's say, you see, there are certain areas where your clients, your customers are in very difficult, deprived kind of situation. And all these call centers, all these support centers are based on that kind of services. And they, if the person has that kind of training in humanities, they would be able to handle well such kind of relation. So relationship management, communication, I would say, are the areas where students of humanities and social sciences are best suited. Then information technology, I mentioned it again, I'll mention it in the last minute also. This is something from which we cannot escape, right? Basic computer skills, IT skill is something which is needed. After that, you see, depending on your interests, like data sciences, this is something which is needed in every field. You need to operate computer, different softwares in computer, so that you are able to produce results and you are able to depict those results in terms of presentations, in terms of different profiles using Excel or whatever. So all these places, students of social sciences, because see, the kind of research methodology, the kind of methodology what we use in social sciences is different from science students. And I would say that there are lot of opportunities for the social science students. You have to work on your communication skills, your digital skills, and that's it. Means that would be make you a better product for such job opportunities.
Right. So there is one candidate, Divya Sani. She is asking about the open house registration. So I'll just answer. Divya, definitely we would be contacting you back regarding the details, and all the posts and that all the things would be available on our social media platforms. So you can visit our website to know the further details. Right. So I think that concludes today's
Sure.
session. Thank you, everyone, and special thanks to Dr. Nair sir. Please get in touch with us if you have any questions. If there are definitely questions, we'll definitely revert you back through your
Yes.
email IDs. And we'll see you again next
Yeah.
week with some interesting topic and nice learning. Thank
Dr.
you.
Tomar, if I can mention the last sentence.
So please.
Anyway, you are most welcome for the open house session. But if you want to visit any other day also, department works all the 5 days in the week, right? Monday to Friday. Please do visit, see the department. In open house, anyway, we would be available. But otherwise also you can come and visit the campus and see the department and faculty. Thank you so much, Dr. Tomar, and all the students, participants who are attending.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Nair sir. Thank you, everyone.